Well, just to give you a run through, there will be three set of notes on scope management. The first set is basically an overview again, okay, and then with the project initiation, and then the second and third set of notes will be purely about the scope definition and also work breakdown structure, and finally scope change management and all that. All right, so this part here, planning. Well, because we're supposed to do scope management first, it's all about planning. So time, you need to plan. Cost, you need to plan. Risk, you need to talk about risk in the initial stage. Quality, you need to plan. Procurement, you need to plan. Everything is about planning. So this bit is about how planning should be important. It is very, very important, and it should be done. And without planning, you cannot do scope management. So that the first three pages is all about planning. Okay, so planning. So first thing we plan is the scope of work. So because scope of work is the combination of the end product of the project, and what is the work that is required to produce them. Basically, it's the final outcome. What is it that you want to see at the end of the day from your project? Is it a building? Is it a shopping mall? Is it houses? Is it are there houses? Are there pipelines? Are there road? Are there highways? So these are the deliverables. Okay, then all the work and temporary works that is required to build these things, and plus the processes to make it happen. Okay, including management processes. If a scope is not well defined, basically performance will be threatened, because at the end of the day, people don't know what you're trying to do. So if you don't have a proper scope, you also cannot do management on procurement. You cannot plan for procurement. You cannot choose the right strategy, contract, and tendering mode, because you don't have the idea about the scope of work. Okay, and because that really spells out the project characteristics. Okay, well, if you have too much of scope, okay, or you are putting in a lot of details, that is also not so good, but it must be enough of detail. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult for people to understand what you're trying to do. So scope management, we are really focusing on coming up with the final scope of work. What is it that you want to build, and the processes is scope planning, scope definition, the create WBS, scope verification, scope control. Okay, so this is what PMBOK suggests. Okay, so before we can go into scope planning, let's look at initiation. So every organization, there must be a reason why you initiate a project. Okay, so if energy is needed, then you need to come up with a coal mine. You need to come up with a nuclear plant. You need to come up with water dams. You need to produce electricity. You need to do hydro dams. So these are all where things are being initiated. So this is like the need. So the idea of needs and demands and also desire creates initiation. Okay, so external and internal sources. So if there are such as interesting things, like you see some people creating something, and so you want to manufacture that. Some of it is based on customer feedback. There is a huge surveys going on, and then you based on that survey, you're coming up with a new engineering product. There are very much needs that from the kampong people. They said they need water, they need electricity. So there are actually request from the end users, and then also you are responding to obvious market demands. There's many reasons why you come up with the idea of wanting to start a project. People just don't throw away money like that, you see. So there must be a reason why we do things, you see. Internal sources could be your R&D come up with a new product. There is a social obligation you need to meet. There is a urge to create landmarks. Like for example, government of Malaysia, we want to have the tallest building in the world. That is Mahathir internal sources, you see. So these are personal objectives, you see. So there are a lot of reasons why from the organization, from the person, from the funder themselves, there is a reason for them to come up with the project, the idea of the project. Sometimes it's speculation, speculation. They see a money making business in this direction, in that direction, so they want to start something new. So some of them want to be market leader. There's new R&D, from their own organization. External one R&D is that you see some patent that is being filed and you say, hey, that's good, let's bring it on, and I want to manufacture that or create that. So then you want to build a factory. So basically, in scope initiation, once you get the idea, about the project itself, we are going to move into the first thing. So we actually talk about this is, so once you know where your ideas are from, then you want to develop the idea a bit more. So you need to study, like, remember I told you the other day, very, 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 very long lecture the other day on how we look at the project environment, like where your site are, where it's being placed, what are the issues, what are the constraints, what are the things that are surrounding. You need to understand your project. So issue analysis is a very, very specific, very scientific way of looking at your project environment. So issue analysis and management, so you're looking at all the potential issues that will be surrounding the project, including whether it's going to be a threat or opportunity to proceed, you see. So some of these are very scientific, like very theoretical things about issue management. At different stages of the issue, at different stages of the life cycle, the issues can be a bit different. Whereby it's in the middle during the construction, then the cost of it will be higher. Once it's over, then the issue will not be a problem anymore. Pre-problem is that you may not see it, public may not see it, but you see it. So things like that. So you identify the issue. These are the first step. You identify what are the issues, whether it is obvious, not obvious, whether it's going to create impact, whether it is not going to create impact, whether it's going to be creating a lot of media attention, like heritage and culture and religion. All these are issues surrounding your project. Is it a fashionable issue? Is it an environmental issue that you're going to get, like 10, 20 different NGOs picketing in front of your office if you started this project? So you need to think about the different issues and identify those potential issues and problems that you may have. So basically, it's about circling the project and understanding the project. Okay, so here there's different way of approaching those issues, and you need to think about, like finding out and digging out those issues. There are some informal search and condition viewing, indirect viewing. All these are formal search. All these are part and parcel of coming out, understanding, like identifying, picking up on your issues, you see.